Hi guys, I want to talk to you about real estate marketing. And that can go from renting your house to selling it. Now, one big thing I learned from fixing up my kitchen here is paint. Let me show you here. What I did, and you can see in the background, this is a rental grade property, is I painted the bottom half kind of like this blue-gray color and the top half a white color. I was having a major problem with the walls because uh, putting joint compound in the walls, fixing cracks up, then requires sanding it. And when you don't have people who are really skilled at that, the walls still have a very textured appearance. And I found that using flat paint actually hides a lot of the defects. Now, when you go to the paint department, what they'll recommend to you is to use a semi-gloss, like maybe an eggshell or a semi-gloss in the kitchen area, because this is an area that can get a lot of steam from cooking and things like that. Well, I actually had sort of like some dirt on the walls, and I just wiped it up with water. So this is flat paint, and I've been having not too much of a problem cleaning it up. Paint is by far the cheapest improvement that you can make on your house. Let's say you spend $25 for a gallon of paint, and that can cover 250 square feet. That comes at about 10 cents per square feet. And if you're using, let's say, flooring material like vinyl plank flooring, that could run you $2 to $4 per square feet. And then you still have your $2 to $4 per square feet install costs. Or if you put new kitchen cabinets in the kitchen, that could cost you $2,000 to $5,000. Or let's say you put granite countertops, that could cost you $2,000. And we're talking $60 to $90 per square feet or more for things like that. So I want to let you just focus on that and think about what you can do to use paint to improve your house before you resell it. And that can go down to also even painting cabinets, if that can give your cabinets a higher end finished look. Or here's another thing, changing hardware on your house, like doorknobs. Now, I'll give you an example. Now, this is a rental grade property, okay? I have a doorknob here. It's a Schlag, and it's got more of a higher end look to it. It's kind of dirty, but it has a nicer polished look to it. And I got this door over here, which is an original doorknob. Now, the psychological effect of a nice doorknob, and this is something that's a little bit more on the subconscious level, as someone walks through the house and they feel the doorknob and they're opening and closing and they're looking at it. Let me show you this other doorknob I have. Now, this is like an original 1920s doorknob. I kept it because I just like the style of that. But if you're looking to resell your house, you know, you're going to have to make a judgment on things like that, of whether you want to replace something like that. But think about that, you know, doorknob, if you buy them on eBay bulk, I think I got that doorknob for like $6 to $8. Now, I can change a doorknob myself in like 10 to 15 minutes if you're just taking out and putting it in. And if you can get somebody that's handy that can change those doorknobs for you, that could be a pretty low cost improvement on your house. So we've got rehabbing or fixing, improving your house, then staging your house, cleaning it up, minimizing the stuff that's sitting around on countertops or in the room. And a lot of it is just, it's the word staging, making the room or the place look like a showroom. It's not really how most people live, but for photography purposes, that's probably what you're going to need to, again, maximize the resale value of your house. And then, of course, photography, having good lighting. Now, I put this thing, it's called like a globe, onto the flash of my camera, and it projects the light, the flash, to the ceiling, and it diffuses the light. So when it comes back to the lens of the camera, it's giving the room a fully diffused light with less shadows. And it just gives the place a pop when you look at it. So those are some of the key things in terms of the cosmetics, the look, the appearance, and making the place look as high-end as you can make it for as little as you can spend getting that effect. Now, another big topic for a lot of people is pricing. Now, there was a Stanford study along with Caltech that found that when people drank $50 wine versus $5 wine, it actually activated the pleasure senses of their brain. By drinking the $50 wine, and it could be the exact same wine, their brain perceived the wine as better quality. It made them more pleasurable. And I want you to think about that in terms of pricing. There's two ways, maybe three ways of strategizing the pricing of a property. You can overprice it, you can price it at value, and you can underprice it. Let's say that you have run comparable market analysis. You've looked at houses in your neighborhood with the same number of bedrooms, same number of bathrooms, similar square footage, same or similar year build of your house. And if it's brick or frame, same. Let's say that let's more concrete example. A 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and your house is 1,200 square feet, and the market's saying your house is worth $200,000. Well, if you price it at $225,000, people are going to perceive that your house has more value. Why are you selling it for more money? What makes your house more valuable? If you can market those things, like I've got granite countertops, I've got vinyl plank flooring, this is better finished than the house that's at $200,000. And you can make your place show ready for a higher price. Why not? You should do it. You should go for it. Because people are going to perceive your place as having more value. They're going to see it, that it has more amenities to it. And there's some percentage of the population that want to buy quality. They're willing to pay more money for better quality stuff. The other way you could do things is you could price it at value, $200,000. Now, if your property inside has a similar quality as those other comparable properties, that could be a good strategy. Why not? You want to price it to the market. You want to price it to what your property is. But if you're in an appreciating market, maybe you could put it on the market for $210,000 and say, hey, look, the market is moving upwards. Now, underpricing, let's say $190,000, $180,000. Is your property in some way defective? And that's why you're underpricing. Because if you've got those really nice, high quality amenities and you're underpricing, people are going to perceive your property as having some kind of problems. In fact, they'll probably call you and say, hey, what's wrong with the property? You're underpricing it. But in fact, if you do have things that make your property of lesser value, maybe you want to price it a little bit above the underpriced. So if you're thinking 180, maybe you could price it at $190,000. And why? Because it doesn't matter if people are quality high-end buyers, they still like to feel like they're getting a good deal, and they're going to ask for less. So if you ask for 190, they're going to say, hey, maybe could I negotiate with you and get it for $180,000? So although your property might have defects, although you are pricing it at a lower price, leave a little room for negotiating. And that would go even for the $225,000 property. If you think that you want 225, maybe price it at 235 or $240,000. Now, I wouldn't go overboard in terms of pricing it too high, like, oh, I'll sell it for 250, and even 225 might, this at this point we're getting kind of subjective here. Is 225 too high, or is 235 too high? Now that kind of fine tuning requires a little bit of finesse, getting a sense for what your market really is like, what kind of people you have shopping in that market, and how buyers in that kind of market might perceive your property, how much they're willing to pay for all those extra amenities. That requires the fine-tuning aspect of things. But I want to leave you with this thought, because you're going to read articles online that say price it lower, and a lot of it is about pricing. And if you're not getting what you want in the sale of your property, then consider this. Are there ways that you can show your house in a better way? What do you call it? Take better photography, pictures. Is it staged well? Does your house present a certain way? When are people coming by to take a look at the property? Are there things like defects that are not part of the property, like the broken roads outside? These are all a lot of different factors to consider. And this requires looking at things on a case-by-case basis. But I want to leave you with a few of those main thoughts about doing low-cost improvements to your house, staging it with quality pictures, and really fine-tuning the pricing so that way you can get a realistic price that's hopefully what you want if you have reasonable expectations. Anyway, you guys have a great day, and see you soon again in another video.